Just like that, my friends, the journey that we all take together every year around this time, we call it the road to WrestleMania. Just like that, it's about to come to an end. The final stop is tonight for SmackDown, and in just 5 nights, we reach our destination, WrestleMania. This road to WrestleMania, this journey we all have taken in the last several months together to get to WrestleMania, it kind of went by fast for me. It kind of left more to be desired. It was kind of lackluster. It lacked that big-time, big-fight feeling that we usually get around WrestleMania time. And everybody, not everybody, not even close to everybody, but there's a big vocal part of wrestling fans that harp on part-timers, don't like part-timers, think that part-timers are taking spots. And you guys know I don't feel that way at all. I love when part-timers, the big-time superstars, show up for WrestleMania. Because that makes WrestleMania that much more special. You know that it is WrestleMania. It is that special event. And that's when the biggest superstars from even yesterday come back to shine once more. And once more, and once more every year. I love it. And I think that this year, even though The Undertaker was involved kind of, sort of, in a storyline, we didn't really see him. We didn't see him at all. And I think that left a big void, not seeing The Undertaker for WrestleMania season. It was weird. Not seeing Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, at all. Usually we see him around WrestleMania season. Didn't see him at all. No part-timers really came up. None of the big stars from the past. And that's okay. We, on paper, have one of the best WrestleMania cards we've ever seen, right? On paper, the Daniel Bryan match, the Ronda Rousey match, 2 dream matches, whether you like it or not, 2 guys that are going to go to war and beat the shit out of each other, and Roman and Brock. You have, and you're going to see Undertaker, John Cena in some way, an impromptu match, or just a street fight when the American Badass shows up. We'll get to more of that in 2 minutes. But on paper, we're going to be all right. WrestleMania looks fucking phenomenal. But the build-up, the road to it, for me, left more to be desired. More could have been done. I do wish that more superstars really came around. They didn't have to have matches, but it would have been cool, man. You get a surprise visit from like a Batista. Doesn't have to be in a match, doesn't have to be in a storyline, but he comes back for something and sells how big WrestleMania is. Mr. WrestleMania, obviously, Shawn Michaels comes back, delivers his little mini storyline for WrestleMania to promote a match. You could have done some shit with stars from the past to make it feel like it's WrestleMania season. And every year they do that. This year, they didn't. So that vocal part of the audience that doesn't like part-timers coming back, you got your wish. There was no anticipation from the old-time stars. None of the old-time stars came back to shine. None of the nostalgia. Maybe they feel they did all that for Raw 25, maybe, right? But for me, I would have loved to seen a lot of the old-timers come back and promote WrestleMania, because that's what makes it feel like WrestleMania season. But we didn't get that again, so we go to what we had last night, the go-home show for WrestleMania. This was it. You really have to come out with your best show of the year, I felt. Did they do that? Not even close. Doesn't mean it was a bad show. They just did not come close. I'll start off with the ending. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. This better be fucking epic. They better end this in a war. I want to see them battling each other, kind of like when fucking Brock and Undertaker had their battle, and it leaked out into the backstage area. But I need this battle to go even further than that. I wanted Brock and Roman last night to beat the shit out of each other. You had all the superstars up on the rampway. The story was that Kurt Angle wanted everyone to block Roman Reigns from coming down. So so you have Roman come from the back, from fucking ringside area. Jump the barricade into the ring. All the superstars couldn't break them up. All the referees and officials obviously couldn't break them up. and you have this brawl between Brock and Roman lead out into the backstage area, through fucking locker rooms, ultimately into the outside. I want it fucking outside into the street. Superstars, refs, fucking suits and ties. Everybody is trying to break Roman and Brock up because this is no longer sanctioned, right? That's the story I want told. It's no longer sanctioned inside of the arena, inside of the ring. Now we're in the streets. You're in a public street. This is unsanctioned, I want it, right? And they're brawling in the fucking middle of the road. You have superstars trying to break them up. Cars, windows are being smashed. This should be the most epic brawl we've ever seen, because nowhere near your full audience for WrestleMania is intrigued enough for Roman and Brock. A lot of the audience doesn't care. They know Brock is definitely taken off for a little bit, and they're still not behind Roman Reigns. So even though I know we're going to get a badass brawl between the two at Mania, they'll put on a good performance, trust me. You still want to have that intrigue. I don't quite feel at all that intrigue is there for Roman and Brock yet. So you have to captivate everybody in just one segment. How do you do that? Exactly how I'm telling you. They're in the street. They're literally coming across pedestrians, planted, obviously, actors. Where were they last night? They were in fucking Atlanta, right? A lot of actors down in Atlanta. Trust me, guys, it's what I do for a career. There's 3 hotspots for actors. And that is New York City, that is Los Angeles, and that is Atlanta, Georgia. Hotspots. You have actors, you have pedestrians fucking impromptuly getting involved. Accidentally, they're getting knocked down, they're in the mix. You make this as real as possible. And when it goes off the air, I want Raw to fade to black, go off the air with ultimate chaos in the road of Atlanta, the streets of Atlanta. Because that's how volatile this feud spilled out to. Where Roman and Brock could not be confined to not only just the ring, they couldn't be confined to the arena. They couldn't be confined to backstage. We don't even know if the streets of Atlanta, Georgia can confine Roman and Brock because Raw went off the air. We don't know if they're going to fight out on the highway. If they're going to leak over to fucking Florida. Or over to fucking South Carolina. One of the fucking borders. Are they going to go into the Atlantic fucking Ocean? Nobody knows. Raw went off the air. We have to see now. We have to see what happens at WrestleMania with Brock and Roman. You just instantly turned everybody from fuck this shit to I have to see this. Even if they still don't like it, right? They just don't like that Roman Reigns is even in that position. Or that Brock is the champion at all. Even if they don't like it, they have to see them brawl now. Once more at WrestleMania. That's amplified booking. That's my fantasy booking. That's how I would have booked this shit if I was head writer for WWE. But that's not what happened, is it? We had some weird shit where Roman his music plays. He comes down the ramp. All these superstars cut him off because Kurt Angle told them to. And Roman was just like, boys, you full-time guys. Are you really going to let a part-timer come between me beating his ass? Or whatever the fuck promo he cut. It was like fucking 2 lines. That's all he said was like 2 lines. And it was enough for all of these superstars who had one job to do by Kurt Angle. Just don't let Roman go to the ring. And in just 2 lines, they were all easily manipulated to just be like, fuck it. Go ahead, Roman. So at that point, why would Roman stop? I would have just told every one of them, hey, if you give me 20% of your paycheck from here on out, and I'll make sure that we fight I'll fight for our health bills, right? I'll make sure that Vince gets all of us health insurance in the future. But in the process, give me 20% of your paychecks, right? They're easily manipulated. You might as well fucking start getting some more shit out of these superstars because they easily parted ways. They parted the ship. They parted the 7 seas for Roman Reigns to just walk down the aisle and have a conversation with Brock. Again, their one job from Kurt. Don't let that happen. It just wasn't realistic to me. In 2 sentences, you're just like, fuck my job, I'm out of here. All because fucking Paul Heyman was saying nobody can take out his beast. Well, it's true. Who was the superstars out there? The fucking Revival is not going to take out Brock Lesnar. Both of them won't take out Brock Lesnar. Sheamus is not going to take out Brock. Cesaro is not going to take out Brock. Who else was out there? Titus is not going to take out Brock. Apollo is not going to take out Brock. So they chose that time to let their fucking egos get the best of them anyway. I'm not going to harp on it, but that, right off the bat, I saw this segment falling apart. They just part ways, and they all walk out off the fucking ramp. All the superstars are gone, so now I know we're not going to get the epic brawl, because all the superstars just left. So I automatically knew this was not going to be right. So Roman comes down, he gets in the ring, Brock circles around, and then he leaves the ring. Brock then gets a chair. He got some cheers too, probably, but he took a fucking chair. A chair. Brock Lesnar, of all fucking people, needs a chair. Not realistic. That's not how you book Brock. So he gets a chair, he gets in the ring. And Roman Reigns becomes Superman all of a sudden. A chair and Brock. Brock and a chair. A chair and Brock and a Brock and a chair. Brock and 7 chairs. It wouldn't matter. Roman becomes Superman and literally like 5 times Superman punches Brock with the steel chair. Nothing in this was realistic to me. And we think it's going to end with Roman Reigns with the championship strap, and you got the WrestleMania sign. It wouldn't have mattered at this point how it ended, because you knew it was not going to end correctly. It wasn't going to captivate people to want to watch them at WrestleMania. They already blew it. So you might as well at that point just let fucking Roman Reigns get the last visual, right? Even though the last visual is going to be him with that championship strap at WrestleMania. So obviously you couldn't have that, but you might as well have, because it wouldn't have made any difference if Brock was the last man standing or Roman. They already blew it. But you have Roman 5 Superman punches to 4 or 5, whatever it was, a shitload of them to Brock. Brock is knocked out. Roman has the strap looking up at the WrestleMania sign, and just like that, out of nowhere, Brock just jumps up as if he's the Undertaker, but even faster, and he F5s Roman Reigns. And then he rolls out of the ring like he just escaped fucking death or some shit. And Brock and Paul Heyman are looking in the ring like, fuck, we just got out of there alive. And Roman is now knocked out from an F5, and I would love to... That is the best that creative could come up with. Because we faded to black, and Raw went off the air. With Roman Reigns F5'd and Brock Lesnar looking like he just got the shit kicked out of him by 5 Superman punches. That got... For somebody who is trying to help WWE on this channel, we know Roman shouldn't be in that spot. And yet that's most likely going to be the main event. But I've for weeks been saying, at least, guys, they're going to beat the shit out of each other. At least they're trying to give us a storyline. So I've been trying to see the silver lining in all of this. I've been trying to see the sunshine in a whole gray and gloomy motherfucking story. I've been trying for WWE. But last night, they gave me nothing to work with. I cannot say one good thing about that segment. Not one. It was that fucking awful. Because they did nothing for me, the fan who knows they're going to go out there and beat the shit out of each other. It did nothing to captivate me anymore, which means you know the casual fan and the fans that were not invested in this to begin with, you know damn well they're not going to want this anymore. In fact, they probably want this even less than they wanted it before, which was probably already 0, so you're probably going to be at negative whatever the fuck now. As far as their interest. You keeping score? It's not looking good. I think the reaction that this match, the ending is going to get, unless you have like The Rock come out and do something with Roman afterwards, or unless Roman turns full throttle heel afterwards, I think the reaction is going to be fucking horrible. And if they put this match last at Mania, we could get one of those things. What was it? The Royal Rumble a couple years ago when Roman Reigns won it. That Royal Rumble was actually great, guys. I love that whole Royal Rumble, and then at the end, it was just tarnished. Because nobody was fucking happy at all. And it wasn't just like a boo. The guy we didn't want won the match. So boo. And everyone's having fun still because you're booing the heel. No. It was literally out of disgust. The whole building in Philadelphia was disgusted. And we faded to black and Royal Rumble went off the air. So the fans at home were like, fuck, man. That was anticlimactic in the biggest of ways. What the fuck just happened? We had a great Royal Rumble and it ended with somebody that nobody wanted to see standing tall. And again, not just like a boo, he's a heel, or boo, we don't like him. No, it was disgust. That's what we could be looking at WrestleMania, guys. The WrestleMania card looks dynamite. We could get an epic WrestleMania ending in the most fucking disgusting way possible. WrestleMania is one of those nights you have to fucking please your fans, because it's a thank you to the fans. All year, we buy the fucking pay-per-views, the merchandise, we invest. Most of everything, our time, into WWE, and at WrestleMania, we get the ultimate payoff, and the fans can be elated when it goes off the air. Shawn Michaels capturing the championship. The boyhood dream becomes a reality. Remember that? WrestleMania 12? WrestleMania 30. The fucking true underdog story. Daniel Bryan has his fucking moment. And we did that. He did that with the fans. The fans did that with Daniel Bryan, which made it even more special. Man, WrestleMania 34 going off the air with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar doesn't feel right. And they did nothing last night to get me invested anymore. So that's the truth, guys. That's not just a personal opinion. If you're being real with yourself, even Roman Reigns fans, huge, big-time Brock Lesnar fans, and I can speak on this because you guys know I'm a huge, big-time Brock Lesnar fan. I'm a fan of those larger-than-life superstars. A big reason I'm not a fan of Cruiserweights, actually, because I love those larger-than-life superstars. And as a Brock Lesnar fan, I can be real with you guys and say, this could be really fucking bad. As bad as we all originally thought, I thought it was starting to get a little better. Man, they needed to do something huge last night, and they didn't. I'm not going to harp on this anymore. I spent way too much time on it, but that's the big Universal Championship match for WrestleMania, so I felt it needed time. Unfortunately, I can't say anything good about it. WWE is in a world of shit, a world of trouble in the next 5 days to try to find the perfect ending where people are actually going to be happy. Just saying. Moving on, guys. Let's go right to John Cena. This guy deserves so much fucking credit. He's been going out there for 4 weeks and trying to get the crowd excited as fuck when he knows he's the only one that's going to be in that ring. There's going to be no Undertaker. And Cena knows this for weeks. And he goes out there and he gets the crowd all fucking hyped. I would have hated to be in those crowds. To give that much energy, noise, and adulation and cheers for The Undertaker, and when it was all said and done, he doesn't even show up. I would have hated to be in those crowds. But for the fan at home, we're disappointed like the crowd, right? When we find out that The Undertaker really isn't going to show up, yeah, it's disappointment. It sucks, right? It would have been epic, man. If The Undertaker if there was some lightning, if there was the fucking lights go off, even if he doesn't show up, the lights go off. You know that he's listening. That would have been cool. You know what I mean? You don't even have to have him say something up on the Tron. Forget just his face is not even there, but him just over on the mic, over on the loudspeaker, man. You just have The Undertaker saying something to John Cena. You don't even have to have that. The lights going on and off, or just the fucking gongs. Just to know that he is listening, and then you could still bring the American bat. Who says that the gongs or the lights going on and off, who says that means that the dead man has to show up at WrestleMania? No, you could still have the fucking American badass show up at WrestleMania. But you could have done something cool where he's actually listening, but we still don't know what the fuck that means, so Cena still has to show up at WrestleMania as a fan. But WWE chose not to do that. They chose to not even let the fans know that The Undertaker is listening at all. So, okay, again, it sucks at the moment, because we live in an instant gratification world, right? We live in a world where everything is pretty much right at our fingertips. It's right at our disposal. So it's instant gratification. So when all of us don't get The Undertaker right then, we're kind of disappointed, and it sucks. But if you think long-term, guys, this is going to be a huge, epic WrestleMania moment. Something's going to happen where Cena's in the crowd, the camera's showing him or some shit, and he's having a good time, he's trying to rev up the crowd, and all of a sudden, fucking The Undertaker is going to make his appearance known at WrestleMania. Trust me when I say this, guys. The Undertaker will be at WrestleMania, and he is going to do something huge with John Cena. Trust me. Either it's going to be an impromptu match, or there's going to be a fucking brawl for the ages. Something is going to happen with Taker and Cena, and this last 4-week build has been one of the most intriguing for me. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most at WrestleMania, and it was all done with one motherfucker, John Cena, hyping up the fucking crowd to try to summon the dead man. But what he's going to get at 34 is the American Badass. It was all done beautifully. Props to John Cena. And it sucks for the crowds, man, these last 4 weeks that really thought The Undertaker was going to do something. I feel you. I was at home on the edge of my seat like, fuck, man, are the lights going to go out? Even if the American Badass shows up, I'm fine at 34. But give me a little bit of the dead man beforehand. You know, let's hear the gong. Let's see the lights go out. We didn't get any of it. Maybe that built the intrigue a little bit more. I don't know. But I'm definitely invested in this. I'm definitely intrigued in this. And that's how you build a storyline. Who would have thought a month long, right? Because the last month is when it really kicked into high gear. A month-long storyline would actually be successful with one motherfucker. But it worked. Congrats to John Cena. And I'm looking forward to that at WrestleMania. Much more than the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar segments, man. Much more than that storyline. One man was able to pull it off. Just fucking epic, honestly. So good job for John Cena. About the women, right? And we got to talk Sasha Banks first, man. It was a match with Bayley and Sonya Deville. All right match. Sonya Deville still really rough around the edges, man. But, fuck, I don't know. You could tell Bayley was getting frustrated a couple of times. But the match ended with Bayley. Did Bayley get the win? I think Bayley did get the win. Bayley got the win. Obviously, Absolution jumped Bayley afterwards. And the whole time I'm thinking, please don't let Sasha Banks come to the ring and continue this stupid, nonsensical Absolution versus Sasha Bayley shit that we've been seeing every week for months. When you're trying to tell a story that Bayley and Sasha don't even like each other. So realistically, why would Sasha come to the ring and help Bayley? So please, whatever you do, WWE, use Sasha a different way tonight. Is what I was thinking last night. You know, fucking don't let her come out in this fucking... And sure enough, here comes Sasha Banks. So even though I didn't agree with it, when you see Sasha Banks in the ring, she's just captivating, obviously. So whether I liked it or not, it's obviously great to see fucking Sasha Banks inside of a WWE ring. She beats the shit out of Absolution, sends them over the top rope. She's trying to signify, like, that's what could happen Sunday at WrestleMania. I'm just going to throw everyone over the top rope. And this was heel Sasha. This was heel Sasha. This was Sasha Banks turning to Bayley, no longer asking for friendship or asking for forgiveness. No. Sasha said, raise my hand. Bayley's like, what? Sasha's like, raise my hand. Bayley's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Sasha's like, raise my hand. And Bayley comes up and she's like, I'm not going to raise your... I didn't need your help to begin with. And Sasha grabs Bayley by the face. How degrading is that? I loved it. This is heel Sasha, but grab Bayley by the face. Bayley gets pissed, starts throwing bows at Sasha. Sasha's throwing fucking bows back at Bayley. I like this because everyone says, like, but, well, not everyone, but I get the question, but BC, what is a heel Sasha really going to bring to the table? It's still Sasha, just called a bad guy, right? No, guys, it's the way they act, their mannerisms, how they can now deliver their promos, how they can just be fucking free and do and say what they please because they don't have to walk on that little tightrope. When you're a face, you have to walk on a tightrope. You have to walk on eggshells. You have to watch every little thing you say and every little thing you do. And you have to appease the crowd. You can't incite the crowd. You can't get them riled up. You can't piss them off at all. In professional wrestling, you need to be able to do that. You want to do that. If you're not a total over-the-top face, and it's obvious that they were not pushing Sasha Banks that way, because Sasha Banks would have been the most epic faces in WWE for the women ever if they pushed her correctly. But she was a victim of the 50-50 booking bullshit. And sometimes even worse than 50-50. So we all said for months, then why not just turn her heel? If you're not going to promote her as your top female, let's make her the top heel because we know she shines best as a heel anyway. Forget her talent. Forget she's one of the best, and in my opinion, the best women's female wrestler in the division. But put that aside. Her perception, her image, the way she acts, her mannerisms, her promos, everything when she is a heel, top notch. Top fucking notch. You want to hate her because she literally thinks she's the best. Her ego is off the charts. She literally degrades you. She belittles you. She makes you feel like shit if you're about to face her at an upcoming pay-per-view for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Be prepared for some awesome Sasha Banks promos, and she's going to belittle the fuck out of you. And she's gonna just fucking irate the crowd and piss the crowd off and make you hate her. That's all the shit you want in a heel. That's the difference, guys, between face Sasha and heel Sasha. And we know in real life, Sasha Banks has that edge on her. She gets a bad rap because she doesn't do all the autographs at the airport, and she's not the most friendliest at airports or when she's eating. Well, what the fuck do you expect? That's not in her job description. When you're a public figure, when you're a superstar, yes, there is that fan response you're going to get when you're just walking down a street. No doubt about it. And you have to be not only prepared for that, but you have to know that's coming. Because people are going to be starstruck. But there are times and situations to run up to somebody, tug on their jacket, scream for autographs. They don't know you. Just because you know them doesn't mean they know you. So relax. Not everyone is going to give you the biggest smile and a huge hug at the airport at 4 a.m. when they're trying to figure out where to go or if they're even going to make their flight. But they're going to stop everything, miss their flight, because you want your autograph and picture. There's times for that, and it's called an autograph session. Now, staring, right, that's not polite, but when you see a superstar or somebody famous walking down the street, yeah, staring is going to be, as a public figure, as a superstar, as a celebrity, you gotta know people are gonna stare, and it's not necessarily rude. But running up to somebody and screaming for pictures and fucking autographs when they're trying to eat their dinner or their breakfast or they're trying to catch their flight, you don't have the right to do that. So if I'm Sasha or if I'm Brock Lesnar, then that bad rap that I'm getting, it's justified. And I'll be okay with that rap. I'll be the biggest asshole ever if you're trying to get my shit at an airport or when I'm eating dinner or breakfast. But my point here, guys, is if that's how she is anyway, because she's the nicest motherfucker at these events and autograph sessions. You talk to anybody who meets Sasha Banks like that, and she's the best. She goes out of her way to make sure everybody walks away happy. But the stories you hear is at the airports or when she's trying to eat dinner. But let's go with that. You can add that into her heel persona. And that gives her even more of an edge. I am legitimately an asshole. I love it. And don't sit on your fucking high horse either, all of you guys. You know you got an asshole edge to you. Even the nicest motherfuckers watching this video, you know there's times where you just don't want to deal with motherfuckers. You don't want to deal with people. Maybe it's before your coffee. Maybe it's just first thing in the morning. Maybe it's after a long day at work or school, and you just need that hour or 2 hours to decompress. Whether you're a public figure, a celebrity, or just a normal motherfucking Joe Schmo, it doesn't matter. We're human beings. You need that time to decompress, and you need that time that you just don't want to deal with a motherfucker. Check you. You, be the fuck on. You, check you. You, not right now. You, no. Just no. So Sasha has those times, man. Brock Lesnar is that motherfucker. Everybody's fine with that because they say that's Brock. He just doesn't like people. Sasha Banks never said that. Sasha Banks just goes through times where there's times where she does not want you tugging at her, screaming at her, or begging her for shit. But play into that fucking character, man. Now she really doesn't have to deal with any of that fucking shit, right? Because she is that fucking heel. I loved what I saw last night. Mean mugging has a whole new definition now. It ain't just fucking how you're looking at somebody. She fucking grabbed Bayley's mug and like, raise my hand, motherfucker. And Bayley starts throwing bows. Again, I just loved it. That's the Sasha Banks I love, man. I love any Sasha Banks anytime I get to see her in the WWE ring, man. But that was the real first glimpse I got of a Sasha, how she was when she was a heel. Because last week when she put Bayley and she started beating her up in the locker room, that still wasn't heel Sasha. It was just two friends battling each other. This shows you what a heel Sasha was. The Sasha Banks we remember down in NXT, that was her. That was cool, man. For somebody who's a huge Sasha Banks fan. The last 5 minutes of this video may not have meant a lot to some of you guys. Like, all right, Sasha Banks, whatever. For me, that was old school Sasha Banks. And that's the Sasha Banks we all grew to fucking love. And I think, man, going forward, we have to see that. We just fucking have to. I don't care if it's with Bayley. It just, in the future, it has to happen. I don't care. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania per se. But very soon, you have to do the heel turn with Sasha only because it still works. That was awesome. Also with the women last night, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax still getting a lot of heat from the fad fanboys. I call them the fad fanboys. The flips and dives fanboys. That's the fucking... There's this little niche in the wrestling community. It's the fucking... They're really pushing the Cruiserweights. They're so upset that the Cruiserweights are not on the main show. Because if you guys don't know, the Amplified Man, yet again, as I always am, fucking 100% correct. WWE announced their pre-show. It's going to be both Battle Royals and the Cruiserweights, as I said it should be. Because obviously, whether you like Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax match or not, whether you think it's bullshit, whether you think the story sucks, doesn't matter. It's the Raw Championship strap. The fucking SmackDown Champion strap is going to be on the main show. You're basically saying that belt is nothing, and we fucked up. WWE's not going to do that. Think with your head. Use common sense, please. Alexa and Nia was never going to be on the pre-show. But for some reason, the fad fanboys, the flips and dives fanboys, they take the Cruiserweights being on the pre-show and they lump that in together with Alexa and Nia. And I think they think that Alexa and Nia is the reason the Cruiserweights got bumped to the pre-show. Guys, Alexa and Nia is going to be a squash match at Mania, as it should be. This whole bullying storyline, it's going to come to a culmination when Nia Jax had that interview last night. It was a sit-down, face-to-face interview with Renee Young. And it was well done. And fucking Nia Jax said, Alexa Bliss, I want to say something straight to your face. She looks into the camera and she says, at WrestleMania, I'm going to squash you like the bug you are. And I think she used the word squash you like the bug you are. She's literally it's going to be a squash match. So Alexa and Nia is not booting anybody onto the pre-show. That's going to be exactly what the ultimate payoff. Nia Jax is going to totally annihilate Alexa Bliss. It's going to be a little bit of a downer for the crowd to come down a little bit because obviously Charlotte and Asuka is going to steal the show for the women at WrestleMania. So this is going to be a good fucking little fun squash match. Alexa gets annihilated and Nia picks up the strap. And hopefully they keep continuing to build her that way through SummerSlam. So when Ronda Rousey takes on Nia for the strap at SummerSlam, that Nia Jax is the formidable beast we know she can be, but just was not booked that way in the last fucking year. So that's the way Nia Jax needs to be built up. And last night, fucking with that weird main event, you had fucking Dana Brooke tag teaming up with Asuka to take on Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. It was a weird main event for a go-home show for WrestleMania. But obviously, Asuka and Dana Brooke win the match. Asuka actually won the match for the team. And then afterwards, Alexa and Mickie James started a beatdown on Asuka, and that brought out Nia Jax. But who was it? Fucking Alexa Bliss tried to run away, and she was ultimately successful. At first, Nia Jax had her hair, but Alexa Bliss was able to run away because Mickie James jumped on Nia Jax's back. But then Nia Jax totally flattened Mickie James. So they keep bumping Nia Jax up the right way. Again, I just hope this continues after WrestleMania. Because Nia Jax, the way she's being booked now, that's how you book her. And back to the Cruiserweight thing, it's like they think that the Alexa-Nia storyline match is the reason that the Cruiserweights got bumped. Guys, it's not. It'll be a squash. It won't be a match that's going to last a long time at all. But it is the Raw Championship. And if we're in this women's evolution as a public image-wise for the company, did you honestly think Alexa and Nia would be on the fucking pre-show? They're putting the Women Battle Royal on there, yes, but the men's is too, so they can get away with that. But you can't put your Women's Championship, one of only two. The men have several championships, universal in the world, but even if you're in the mid-card, you have a title. The IC in the US strap. But even if you're in a tag team division, you have titles. The women only have one per brand. You can't possibly put them on a fucking You're not using your common sense, people! And you'll have YouTubers and podcasters, and they're like, this has to happen. Alexa and Nia has to be on the pre-show because I just don't like it. And I just don't understand how they have audiences. Because what the fuck are you talking about? You just don't like it. Or you don't like the storyline. At least it has a storyline. You don't like the bullying storyline, but at least it's a story. And it's not uncomfortable. Not for me, man. That Shinsuke Nakamura Jinder Mahal. Remember when Jinder Mahal for 5 minutes just made fun of how Jinder Mahal looked? In his face and his eyes and all that. Dude, that was like cringeworthy. I was disgusted. With this, you know they're best friends. It's a realistic storyline that a best friend turned on a best friend happens all the time, and nobody knows your deepest, darkest secrets more than your best friend. Nobody can hurt you more than your best friend or your family member, correct? You guys know I'm right. A casual friend, an acquaintance, they can hurt you, but you bounce right back in two fucking hours. But a best friend or a family member, when they say the meanest things, it's because you know they know you the best. And you know there might be truth in that. Or they're trying to dig the deepest with the wounds they're trying to create. Nobody hurts you like a best friend more than that, or a family member. And so it's real. And you really feel like Alexa Bliss is being this ultimate mean girl and just trying to fucking hurt Nia Jax on the most biggest epic emotional levels possible. But I don't get the same feeling with Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura. This is totally different because like in that sit-down interview last night with Nia got to tell the world, anybody who is being body shamed or being made fun of for the way they look, Nia got to say, I'm comfortable with who I am. I love who I am. She even said, this is what my mama gave me and I use it to my best and it got me to where I am and it makes people feel confident. I didn't get the same vibe. And in real life, you know they're best friends. And you know they're okay with it. I just get a different vibe. I feel that the ultimate payoff, was last night when Nia was telling the world, and anybody who feels like they're being picked on or bullied, hey, you know what? Fucking own your shit. Love who you are. Fuck them. And then the ultimate payoff will be at WrestleMania when Nia literally squashes Alexa, the mean girl. And Nia Jax is the one standing tall. Ultimate storytelling, man. So everyone's like, I hate the storyline. Or yeah, a stupid fucking high school body shaming storyline. But Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander have zero story. They fucking are the finals of an insignificant tournament that nobody gave a fuck about. I assure you, nobody has been talking about that stupid tournament. And I am all over wrestling fucking everything. Pages and fucking dirt sheets and fucking, whether it's YouTube platform or I am everywhere with this shit. That tournament was so lost in the shuffle, it'll make your fucking head spin. Don't fool yourself. So the Fad fanboys are pissed off that the Cruiserweights are not on the fucking main show. But guys, you want me to, I'm gonna drop some truth bombs on you right now. It's gymnastics. Mic drop. Hate to tell you the reality of this. The Cruiserweights are nothing more than gymnastics. And what you just were told by the ultimate fan base of WWE and pro wrestling is we don't want to just see gymnastics at WrestleMania. Pro wrestling, because that's the thing that the Fad fanboys are saying. The Flips and Dives guys are saying, well, it's WrestleMania and the wrestle part of it is the Cruiserweights because they'd steal the show. No, it's gymnastics. They're not going to steal shit. They're going to give us the oohs and the ahs, and at the very end, we're going to golf clap. You know how I know? Because we've seen the Cruiserweights for the last 2 fucking years. And you claim that WrestleMania is what they needed to captivate eyeballs and grab attention to the product, right? But what happened on Raw? Free TV. Free. When the Cruiserweights were on every Monday Night Raw, they tried that experiment, and what happened? It was boring. Boring. Everyone hated it. But a small niche of Fad fanboys. That's fine if you liked it, but don't fucking ruin it for the rest of us. We don't want to see a gymnastics expedition at our fucking first match of WrestleMania. We don't want to see it. If you do great, you have 205 Live. It's a small little niche. For fans like me, old school and today, we want to see storyline with character development. Because professional wrestling is not just the wrestling. It's storytelling with epic characters. And I know what I'm talking about because I have 3 decades of watching this shit. And I've done my research with the fucking Gorgeous Georges and the Nature Boy Buddy Rogerses. It was always built on storytelling and epic characters. Mufasa Ali, Cedric Alexander do not belong on the main show of a WrestleMania. But to appease the fad fanboys, what I'm willing to do for you guys is I'm willing to call Tim Daggett or one of the big gymnastics gurus. And maybe I can get the Cruiserweights on the show of one of the big gymnastics competitions around the world. Deal? Do we got a deal? I will do that for the fads out there, the flips and the dives guys. We're gonna put the Cruiserweights where they belong, in some of the most epic gymnastics competitions in the world. And they're gonna steal the show. Triple H is now heading 205 Live, BC. It's gonna get better. They deserve WrestleMania. I don't give a fuck if Jesus was running them. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna be just a wrestling match. They failed to give us the story and the epic characters. So I don't care if Jesus himself was running the Cruiserweights. At WrestleMania, you're just gonna get a flip and dive guy versus a flip and dive guy. Nobody's gonna know who the fuck they are unless you actually watch 205 Live religiously and give a fuck, which is about 6% of the fucking 205 Live audience. Because even the people watching 205 Live are disconnected. You don't believe me? Watch the shit. And you want me to fucking put them up on WrestleMania because they deserve it. I saw so much of that on social media last night from the fads. This is bullshit. Irate. The fads were irate last night. This is bullshit. We should... The hashtag was already going. It was like, give the Cruiserweights a chance. Or Cruiserweights for main event. Hashtags. Irate. That Mustafa Ali. What the fuck is a Mustafa Ali? What the fuck is a Cedric Alexander? Get the fuck out of here. You dumb motherfuckers. This is WrestleMania. As Vince McMahon loved to say, right? This is WrestleMania. Even if Alexa and Nia was the reason they got booted, which again, it's not. It's going to be a squash like fucking... Even if not a squash, it's going to be less than 5 minutes, I assure you guys. But even if it was the match to boot it, good. It's Alexa and Nia. Whether you like them or not, they're superstars. Alexa Bliss, do you know what her merchandise pulls in? That goes to tell you she has a huge fan base. Nia Jax, do you know the following she has? And whether you like the story or not, doesn't fucking matter. It's a storyline. People now want to see Alexa get her fucking just due and watch Nia just annihilate her. A lot more people want to see that than want to see Mustafa Ali do a 450 on top of Cedric Alexander after he does a moonsault from the Empire Staple or whatever the fuck they're gonna do. This is not the time for your gymnastics showcase. You want eyeballs to the product. You thought WrestleMania was the perfect thing. No, you're gonna get the golf clap. Nobody is gonna tune in to 205 Live after they saw Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander do their flip and dives match at WrestleMania. Nobody. And I know this because they've tried this experiment every week on Raw and nobody cares. It's boring. Until Triple H is able to string this out. He just took over main duties for 205 Live. He just took over the Cruiserweights a couple of months ago. Let him establish it and maybe he can turn it into something cool. Maybe at WrestleMania 35, we will see a Cruiserweight match on the main card because the majority of the WWE fans want to see it. Majority of pro wrestling fans want to see it on WrestleMania 35 for more than just reasons of flips and dives. But right now, the majority has spoken. We don't. There's no story and there's no fucking character development. Mustafa Ali is not a fucking epic character and you know it. Cedric Alexander is not a captivating character and you know it. And your whole thing is Triple H is taking over, but that doesn't do anything for the Mania match. So develop them. Create cool storylines. And at WrestleMania 35, make us give a shit. But to see these Cruiserweight fit this upset about a fucking gymnastics! Pro wrestling is more than gymnastics. Stop ruining it for the old school fan. Stop ruining it for the guy who wants to see larger than life motherfuckers. The same motherfucking Cruiserweight bullshitters are the same ones saying Brock Lesnar should have never came back. Brock Lesnar is one of the most realistic son of a bitches we have on the roster, and it's gonna be a damn shame when he leaves. Was he booked properly? No. But he is he is the epic big fight feel type superstar that we have in WWE. A heavyweight. And I hate to tell you flips and dives guys something, but if you get offended by a heavyweight, if your self-esteem is ruined because of a heavyweight because maybe you feel like a small, insignificant fucking nothing, then that's your own self-esteem you have to work on. Maybe you see yourself in these little fucking 200-pound gymnastic fucks. Maybe you do. But me, I want epic. I want the big motherfucking big fight feel motherfuckers. I want it all on the line. I don't want Ali and Cedric. And it's clear that the majority of the wrestling fan base does not want to see it because it's clear there's nothing intriguing about them. You want them to go to WrestleMania and have a wrestling match with nothing else around it? We've seen how that works. A failure. It is a failure. Every Monday night it was, and you think WrestleMania is going to be any fucking different. Remember that Neville match last fucking year? Good match, right? They wrestled. And everyone's like, it's so good it should have been on the main show, but it would have been the same result. Nobody was talking about it outside of the fucking flips and dives aspect. Nobody remembered that fucking moment if it was on the pre-show or if it was in to start the show or if it was in the middle of the show. Nobody was going to fucking remember Neville and fucking, who was it, Austin Aries? Nobody was going to remember it. It was going to be the big epic fucking moments that we all wanted to see, the big payoffs. With the heavyweight championship and the Hardy Boys coming back and capturing tag team straps. All of those, the Undertaker, all of the walking away. Did he retire? Did he not? Those are the moments we live for because those are the larger-than-life superstars. Gymnastics is gymnastics. Until you put a story and give the characters actual character development, until you put it all together and make the complete package, no, you shouldn't be on my WrestleMania. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been the Raw Review Reaction. You also had, but before I end this video, because it wouldn't wait too long on that fucking spiel, good match between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Before I close this video, I did want to mention that. That was a really good match. Commercial breaks kind of ruined it a little bit. If they were on a pay-per-view, it would have been even better. I promise you, that's not the best that Seth Rollins and Finn Balor can do. On a pay-per-view, they could do a lot fucking better, man. I wish it was. But they still put on a decent match, and that set up the triple threat a little bit more. And as far as tag teams, Braun Strowman did another comedy act. He said, I'm going to go get my partner before he took on Sheamus. He went back and he got Braun Strowman, his twin brother. And it was just him with glasses and a jacket. So Braun has a twin brother named Brains. That's not going to work. Kurt Angle is going to make him get a partner for WrestleMania. So that was a comedy act I don't like seeing Braun Strowman in. I don't like Braun Strowman in a tag team match at WrestleMania anyway, because again, if you look at the way they built Braun Strowman up the last fucking 6 months especially, but the last year, and now all of a sudden he's in this weird tag team championship match, doesn't even have a partner, kind of lost in the shuffle. I don't like this whole Braun thing. I hope it becomes an epic payoff at WrestleMania, and I hope we can get invested going forward, but I don't see where they go with Braun Strowman at this point. I think that was the main points of Monday Night Raw, guys. Ronda Rousey, fuck, I was going to end the video. Ronda Rousey, okay opening segment. It was kind of cringeworthy at first, you know what I mean? You have a sit-down, two tables, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Jonathan Coachman is your moderator. And you just have them like going back and forth. And when it was all said and done, Triple H attacked Kurt Angle from behind. Kurt Angle flies out of the ring. Ronda Rousey grabs Triple H by the throat. Badass. And Stephanie comes around Ronda and suplexes Ronda Rousey through a table. I said you have to be careful about physical altercation here because we've already seen a lot with these two teams. So you don't want to give it all away before their match at WrestleMania. So I felt this physicality, not only wasn't it a lot, which is good, but it was also the reverse. It was Stephanie getting in a shot on Ronda Rousey. Very fucking good storytelling there. So that was cool. I think that the promo part of it, the back and forth interview segment, that was kind of weird. But then you had the ultimate payoff, which was Stephanie and Triple H standing tall. Because you know at Mania, it'll be Rousey and Kurt Angle. If they do not replace Kurt Angle and put The Rock in there. But, because we're hearing rumblings that The Rock is absolutely showing up to WrestleMania 34. You can catch my last video, I talk all about it. But, good for Ronda Rousey on her selling, man. I liked it. She'll get better, too. She'll get better. But the way she was fucking cringing and fucking hurling her stomach, like, the shot to her back was so fucking vicious, it affected her fucking insides, man. She was fucking hurting. And she had this cringe look like, how are you motherfucking bitch? Like, this hurts, I'm gonna get you. That was good. So Ronda Rousey's learning, man. She's getting better. She can only go up from here, and we're gonna see what she has, man. We're only 5 days away. Whatever she has in that ring, we're all gonna be exposed to it come Sunday. So, good job by Ronda Rousey there. And we got to see the first of her selling. I'm going to shut up there, guys. There was other little things as well, but that was your WrestleMania go-home show. WrestleMania, again, 5 days away. Tonight is the go-home show for SmackDown. Everything that SmackDown is going to bring to the table for WrestleMania has to be set on the table tonight. And we'll find out more about Shane McMahon, which is what everybody is wondering as well. I'll be with you guys tomorrow for SmackDown's review reaction. Thursday, I'm going to attempt to do my very first 1 hour Q&A video, man. We'll see if I can actually accomplish it or not. Amplified booking for WrestleMania coming out this weekend. A big fucking week. I'm the Amplified man and I'm cashing the fuck out. Lots of coffee, lots of ass whooping. I want you guys to beat the shit out of Tuesday like the Amplified man's gonna. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna flip and dive my way over to Starbucks. Who am I kidding? I can't even do a fucking cartwheel. Motherfucking BC. I'm out. Check you.